Welcome to GG No Read. This is an RPG podcast show on the internet where we talk about RPGs and play them. I'm Daniel. I'm going to be DMing this catastrophe. Tim, what's your voice sound like?
This is Tim. Hi.
And Mason, what's your voice sound like?
Hey, I'm Mason.
John, what's your voice sound like?
Hey, I'm John.
Stacy, what's your voice sound like?
What up?
Nope, speak up.
Hi, I'm Stacy.
Beautiful.
I'm Sagittarius.
Dulcet
ASL.
tones.
Projection.
Do what?
ASL.
ASL.
Age, sex, location. Oh, he was
He was too old at that point.
Too old.
You're so pure. So.
back when we were growing up on AOL Instant Messenger, AIM, that's like a chat client
I remember.
that was after IRC. You would people. No, I was never asked this, except ironically, because I never went to chat rooms. But people would ask ASL, age, sex, location.
I know it from To Catch a Predator. Have a seat.
Yeah, I did not get in. I've never been in the chat rooms at all.
Neither have I. Although we're all in chat rooms all the time.
I was going to say, Discord is one big chat
I
room.
used to play Yahoo Pool all the time, and people would ask.
Very private chat rooms.
Poor boy.
Yes.
Yahoo Pool.
Yes.
We will play Dungeon Academy. It's D&D school. We're playing with 5e. We have played a few sessions before, some separated by years, or a year. Last time, we played a single day. It was after we had gotten out of the tutorial dungeon, which some of you have been through twice, and some not at all.
Nope.
As players, I mean, not as characters. As a character, you only go through it once. The last Saturday, they exited the dungeon, and then we ended the session, the original session, with a bit of intrigue. They found a student impaled on a statue outside their dorm.
Secundus.
Secundus, that's right. Let me write down that guy, because I don't think I have much. Oh, did we ever
This
find...
boy. This is notes.
A few moments later.
But I know what happened to him. Got that note card ready for next time. Fantastic. We did a bunch of stuff during the rest of the day. I got the players accustomed to the new turn structure of the game and how the game works. And we ended that night with John's character. What's your character's name, John?
Pluto.
That took a long time.
Sorry, because the way the character sheet was, I was
You're
like...
not even facing it right toward
I was
you.
looking at spears, and I'm like,
You
wait a
should be
minute, that's my
You should be looking
college.
the opposite way.
I know, my name is Pluto, though.
Okay, Pluto. You heard a voice moaning from beneath a sewer grate within the confines of your dorm, and on your dorm's grounds. And you went to investigate it, but I think we saw that the grate was locked or something like that, and you couldn't get in.
Well, we didn't investigate it because it was getting late, and like late IRL.
Yes, okay. But so that's where we left off. And so the next day is Sunday, and that's where we will continue. They did have a convocation where the Chancellor. By the way, I've got where's it? Here it is. This is the Chancellor Hosta. She gave an address before everybody to update them on the situation about the student. And she just basically said for everyone to cool out. It's going to be all right. They're going to find who did it, bring him to justice. We're just going to carry on with this year as normal. So
Sounds very chancellery.
Yep.
Cool out.
So that's what happened, and we are going to begin right back into the flow of things. Today is Sunday, or the equivalent, with my special weird language that nobody cares about.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
So we'll just call it Sunday. It's basically church day.
We care, we just don't have time.
That's right. So on the weekend turns, we've got basically 6 turns a day every day. Here to give you guys a refresher, there are 4 general options. So this game is meant to be player driven, like as if you're playing a computer game where you can just decide what to do at any time, and I'm just the computer giving you feedback. So I'm not going to lead you around and tell you what to do. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. You've got 4 general options. These 3 at the top advance time. This one down here may advance time or it may not. The next turn. So for instance, on Sundays, you start with the morning, which is a free period where you can do whatever you want. Then you go on Saturdays to delve into the dungeon, or on Sundays to church, so that there's church. Then there's generally convocation, and then 3 free turns, afternoon, evening, and night, for doing whatever you want. You know you've got church and convocation later, and in fact, you know the convocation that you have is the opening joust, which you can participate in, or just watch and see what happens. And if we do participate in it, I've got the OD&D, no, even before OD&D, chainmail jousting rules from 1971 that we can use.
Ooh.
There are more jousts throughout the year, so if you miss it today, doesn't matter. You can get it later. Now you're going to get your minis. You all have a mini, right? Yeah, Mason went and got some Harry Potter minifigs. Very appropriate.
Me and Stacy are making use of them.
Yes, I'm serious.
All right, make all the noise you want, because I'm going to cut through this bit while y'all are finding minis.
Cut.
6.5 hours later.
Your basic options
Yeah, basic.
are, here's the default, which is next. You just skip ahead to the next thing that happens. You don't care, you're just ready to go. Chill, which means instead of doing the next thing that is scheduled to happen, like I said, so you can like skip church and chill instead. Or during the morning turn, you can chill. That decreases your stress possibly. Stress is like an additional statistic that you have that is bad. So you want to decrease it. Train, you can prep for a test. You have a test every week, the results of which will determine your proficiency bonus for the stuff you have classes in. So you can be -3 to +3. And then deal, if you are successful in dealing with a burden you have, you get bliss, which is like inspiration but better. So if you want to spend the morning you don't care about what happens this morning, hit next. If you want to spend the morning chilling, put it on chill. Training, put it on train. If you want to deal with something, put it on deal. And we resolve the action starting with deal, and then everybody who has their character on deal will remove it and then put it on something else. You could deal again, or you could go to chill or next or train. So everyone put your mini where you want to go.
Later.
Okay, so we've got everybody on there on train.
Surprise! John's not doing what everybody else is doing.
He's the protagonist.
Y'all are all NPCs in his story. All right.
Supporting character.
So John, what burden do you have that this is relevant to? If you don't have it yet, write it down.
Person.
What is it? Is it written on your sheet?
Yep.
Okay. What does it say?
Solve the murder.
Okay, so you have a burden to solve the murder. That's great. So you can take a burden whenever you want. If your character would care about something enough to do something about it, that is considered a burden. And whenever you resolve a burden or relieve a burden, either yours or another's, you get bliss, which is like your mega inspiration token that you can use in the dungeon.
So
Okay.
I have a burden to help others' burdens, but right now I want to train on Sunday morning.
That's fine. Wake up, get your Wheaties, and get to the training montage.
Right.
Okay, so John, what are you going to do and where are you going to do it?
I want to go. I'm probably not going to see anything. I just want to see if everything has changed at the scene of the crime and see if everything is status quo. Have they cleaned it up? And then I want to go over to that grate, see if I can hear any sounds. And I want to see if I can see anything now that it's light outside. Look down inside the grate and see if there's anything I can see down there.
That's all fantastic. So let's set the scene. I got to stand up for this. I'm too jazzed.
Getting real.
I'm too jazzed.
He's perched.
Okay.
Because I barely slept last night. The grate and seeing a dead person.
This is Hall Dracophon, which is where you guys are. Rough map of the campus. I've got a full map somewhere, but I don't want to get it out now because it doesn't matter. So imagine this whole area is contained in a circle of walls. Okay? I actually know the dimensions. It's 0.35 square miles.
Okay.
An area.
Walls or wall?
One wall,
Okay.
but some of it's broken down. And there is a smaller inner wall that's mostly broken down. It's the hex. It's a hex that's a garden with the statue of Our Lady from the CCQ campaign, 6 arms standing there, and beneath her, underground, is the dungeon, the entrance to the dungeon. You guys are Hall Dracophon. Hall Dracophon is it's like Harry Potter houses. So
Okay.
there are 4, sorry, Stacy doesn't know this. There are 4 colleges that correspond to the classes.
Okay.
There's like a fighter college and a cleric college. And there are 4 houses. They're like dorms.
Halls.
Thank you. Halls that are like dorms that are like the Harry Potter houses. So they chose which one they wanted to be in last time. So all the PCs are going to be in the same one. So this is Hall Dracophon. It's right here. And you can put this on your character sheet if you want to take the Hall's attributes for your own. Courage would be a trait. But if you want to not be courageous, that's fine too. The color is red. And the interesting thing about this dorm or hall is that it's literally inside the body of a preserved red dragon that's coiled up.
That's awesome.
It sounds obviously 1-to-1 with Gryffindor, but not all the houses are analogous to.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's named for Saint Dracophon, who slew the dragon whose body is the hall. The dragon skin is magically preserved, supposedly due to the piety of Saint Dracophon. So you guys have dorms in there, and I'm going to get a map of every hall done in time and times and half the time so we can see all this stuff because I think it'd be fun. But so you guys wake up in the dormitories. It's always like 72 degrees. It's nice no matter what time.
A perfect 70.
And during the mornings, you can see through the skin of the dragon that's a bit translucent. You can see the light filtering in. And let's say the upperclassmen or the lowerclassmen's halls are up near the top of the back on the spines. So you can look up and possibly even touch his back if you are on like a top bunk. So we see you getting up, and are you going to skip breakfast or hit breakfast and then get out?
Probably breakfast first.
Okay.
I don't think I need much time. I just want to check it out.
So breakfast is in the Great Hall of Dracophon Hall, which is of course the rib cage. So it's decked out, and the theme is very horns, teeth, bones. Everything in all the building structures, as far as is possible, have been made with the bones of the dragon. Okay, so you're there eating breakfast. Probably not many other people are there. And let's see if you have any kind of right there. Okay, no, you don't. And now we see you heading out to where the sewer grate is. The dragon's tail is curled up, and in that curled up part is a courtyard. And if you follow an alley off that courtyard through a cutting into his tail, you find the sewer grate that you had seen the previous day and heard the wailings from. And when you look at it, the grate is made obviously of iron. It's very sturdy. It's about 5 by 5, but it's a circle. Chained and locked with a very prominent lock that has a key hole in it. And when you look down, you can see that it doesn't look like this is often used. Like there's no stairs. It's just a drop about 10 feet down. Okay. And then you can see a passage goes off.
Do I see on the ground around it any blood or any ground that's been turned up? When I look at the grate or the chains, do it look like, if a chain sits in one spot too long, maybe the rust is a little bit less red, or maybe you see little rust lines on the edge of the grate where the chain was resting. Like looking to see if anything's been moved at all.
It
recently.
does look like it's been moved.
Okay.
It looks like there's an area that is less worn than the others where the lock used to sit.
Okay. So it looks like somebody who had a key.
This seems strange, but the dew seems a little heavier around the entrance, around where the lock is. The dew on the grass.
Dew on the grass seems heavier. Okay.
Where the lock is.
Yeah, as like in the few steps in front of where the lock is.
Not where like the grate is in general.
No, before you get to the grate, on the grass around it.
Okay.
Huh.
That's what you find.
Okay, so I'm now thinking, all right, whoever killed this kid, there was moanings. I think there was probably some correlation, and this is my teenage mind putting all this subjective evidence together.
And your character, by the way, is Pluto. You're in the College of Spears, which is fighter college.
Teenage mind's gonna work.
And you're YOLO, so you're like an adventurer. You came to the college, or to the dungeon academy. That's what that's called. Academy to be an adventurer.
Mm-hmm.
More ambition than sense.
Yeah.
So my thought is, okay, somebody use this grate as an escape route, get in and get out, do something with this kid, either take the kid out of the grate, pin him, and run back in, jump down, or do something. So there was some sort of, this was used as an escape route at least, and this is somehow involved with the murder.
Indeed.
So that's my thought.
Okay, we'll get to the trainers in just a second. Let's take a little break real quick.
Eventually.
I feel like it might be confirmation bias, John, just because it's something that's happening.
Yeah, it might be, but I'm just saying that's what my character is feeling.
I'm not telling your character this. I'm telling John this because I'm not there.
So as a person though, and as a player, I'm thinking this is totally possible. They're unrelated.
Now place your mini on an action again. Okay, so everybody is doing training. So we are not going to, the rules do not say to do it once for everybody, because that would be tedious, especially as you get like 8 players in your group. That would take 1,000 years.
We don't have a training montage.
So training is basically studying. It gives you prep dice for your test that you have to take at the end of the week. So it gives you an advantage to take a test, which gives you a better chance of getting a good proficiency bonus for whatever you've got classes in that you'll be using in the dungeon this week. You can train together if you want, if you have the same class, or if you've already taken a class and somebody's taking it now, you can...
Can I see Tim's character sheet? Because I wanted to train with him.
And if you succeed, you will get a prep die. And if you don't, then you won't. and we will show what that looks like for one of the characters. To start with, there's no fictional content. Everybody just rolls. For your classes, we're going to establish a DC for the class. This will be the default DC that you'll roll against. So we haven't had to do that yet because we haven't had class and haven't prepped for it, haven't taken a test. And I don't have a place on there for it, but just somewhere, roll 3d6, and that will be how hard the class is for you.
For each class?
For each one you have.
Where are my d6s?
We're rolling 3d6 for each class?
Can I borrow some D6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That you have.
Do we need to write it down on a...
Just write it down next to the class.
Okay.
We only share spellcasting
I
time.
have 3d6s here.
I thought we had
Okay.
I thought we had sparring.
Mm.
I wanted to spar with you. I could still spar with him because he does melee and I do sparring. Would that work?
Do you have the same class?
No.
I mean, you could prep together.
I have melee
that's
and
close
spar,
enough.
so you know, whatever, dude.
You were off chasing greats. We had breakfast together and we were like, what are we gonna do today? We're gonna spar.
It's fine. I'll train with a new guy. So you want low or you want high?
You want low.
Yeah.
Dang it!
Tim is bad at stuff.
I am.
Good. Makes me glad with your stats.
Oh my goodness.
Did you roll an 18?
No, it's really big.
Ooh, that's high though.
13?
Yeah. I got a 13 and I have nothing below 10.
I've got an 8 in cantrip.
I'm not good at spellcasting.
Gosh.
Struggling.
Yeah.
Gonna need help.
Can't get rid of that 6. Get rid of this 6. I want you.
Get out of here. Get out of
Grab
here.
one of his dice. His dice.
No way.
Your stress adds to the DC.
Told you not to grab one of his dice.
will be
That's
different
better
every
than
day.
what?
Oh, when I need
you
to
check.
roll against the
Yeah.
DC. Okay. Oof.
Gosh, why? Really bad rolls, but I mean like
But in another world,
the
really
road
good
less
rolls.
traveled.
You know how like in school, sometimes even if a course is like easy, it can be hard for you, or like weirdly hard, or weirdly easy if it's a hard course.
It's like Dark Souls bosses.
Listen, if it wasn't hard, what's the point?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna make.
Some people, it's just
Easy.
like, I was weirdly easy. I did it in one shot.
Can we?
There's the cleric and Bloodborne.
Yeah, like the cleric beast. First time I did it, it was like 30 tries.
And I did it in one.
Yeah, and then the second playthrough,
12, 7, 10,
different
8.
weapon,
Oh, that's good.
one shot.
We got a Kid Wonder here.
12, 7, 10, 8.
That's like Algebra 1 for me when I was in high school. Like I did fine on calculus, but Algebra 1 is like the only B I ever got.
Just have to say that you're
Oh, it seems hard. Jeez,
Oh.
jeez.
That's terrible.
Algebra. My teacher was the problem with Algebra 1. I did way better in Algebra 2 than I did in
Math
Algebra
teachers
1.
are important.
I was just really concerned about my drama class that
Literally, we had tutors that couldn't figure out his problems. The quizzes.
like personal problems or
Yeah, both.
okay. So now you've got your DC. Now look at what stress you are at right now.
Yep,
Do you know what stress you are?
I do.
No stress.
Oh, no stress from Mason.
1 stress.
Okay, so subtract that from your roll or add it to the DC, however you want to configure it.
Oh, so we're rolling now for
It is
our training?
yeah. So whatever makes sense. So if it's spellcasting, probably your spellcasting modifier
Do you want to
ability.
do melee with me? Would you sparring in melee?
Yeah, you got to pick which one you're going to train
Oh,
for
okay, sure.
So why is the lower the better?
because that's the DC.
It's not an attack roll, it's a DC to see if you
That's the difficulty.
succeed.
You want to roll higher
Of the
than
class.
your DC.
Can you ever get a bonus to your roll for this, or is it always just a straight roll?
It's an ability score bonus.
Okay.
So whatever the relevant ability score is what you roll.
So if I'm doing armor, then the relative
Nope.
ability is gonna be dexterity,
Uh,
because it's AC.
con?
I would think con.
I would think con too.
I'm gonna say con.
Yeah.
For what?
If you're training armor.
Is
Oh wait, we subtract our stress.
No.
what about melee and sparring? Would that
Okay.
be dex or strength?
Whatever you use. If you're a
Dex.
dex fighter, then use dex. If you're a strength fighter, use strength. Does everybody have the class they have decided to train
Yes.
for?
Yes.
This will be quicker when we do it
Okay.
more often. But so you pick, and then I need to know who's training together at the same
Okay,
time.
we're training together, melee.
Tim and Mason.
Is anyone else training together? Basically, you want to train with as many people as possible because you take the highest result out of all the checks.
Okay. So you guys are doing what now?
We're doing
Melee sparring.
Melee sparring. Okay, I will do that too.
Look at this.
I will join in with them.
I'll have to do
This
armor
hit
because that's my
on the
lowest one. I got an 8.
You can do it. We're all
That's
gonna
good.
roll, and we're gonna take the best roll.
I thought we subtracted.
Don't worry about anything.
If you train with other people, it's better than training by yourself.
But if nobody's training something that you care about, or if they're all training stuff that you're already great at,
No, I'll train armor with you. That's fine. Let's train armor together.
I mean, that's my lowest one, but
Yeah,
I mean, I can do.
the lowest one is best.
I think that's what you're saying. You're more likely to succeed in your training.
Yeah, because I got an 8 in that.
Yeah.
So you probably don't need to study with anybody.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if everybody's studying stuff that you're already like good in, and you don't really care about, like you figure you're going to do good on the test,
Okay.
because this is just about test preparation.
Okay.
If you figure you're already good, then you might not care about that, and you're just going to go study by yourself.
Yeah, I'm training with him.
Yeah. Mine would either need to be melee or spellcasting, and I'm not good at either of those.
Ditto.
So what he's saying is that if you need help with passing a class, like when you go to take your test, you're going to have to beat this DC when you take your test for Melee 1.
Gotcha.
So since we're all training Melee right now, it might be a good idea to join in with us to potentially get help on your test later, because you're going to have a hard time passing it when your test comes.
Actually, that's not how the test mechanics work.
Okay.
It's different. You're just going to basically roll 3d6,
Uh-huh.
and then the result is the rank you get. So an average result is a C,
Okay.
which corresponds to a +0 proficiency bonus. And then for every prep die you get by training, you get to re-roll one of those dice.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's still
And you get to add your ability modifier to that roll.
Okay.
But in the end,
it's-
training's still helping towards your test.
Yeah, it's still a good idea. If we're all training for something that you're not good at, that you're going to have it is still probably a good idea to
Yeah. So who are the training groups?
Melee 1.
We're training melee and sparring.
So everybody here is training.
I guess I'll join in with melee. What the crap? I mean, that's my highest roll. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a 15.
Your highest DC, yeah, you would
Yeah.
want
So
it.
you're worst at that.
Yep.
So that's the hardest one for you.
Right.
Okay. So it benefits you to study that. So everybody's going to be together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So melee and sparring, although they're different classes, they can be trained together because it makes sense, right?
Okay.
And
If I have both classes,
you get to pick one.
just pick one. Okay,
Yep.
I'm picking Melee.
Oh, sparring. Oh, I didn't realize there was another one. I just had melee. Okay. I thought they were the same thing.
So you guys are at Hall Dracofon here. There's a few places that you guys can train at. So you could just train in the courtyard, or you could go over to the Tilt, which is the jousting area. It's basically, have you seen where they joust in Game of Thrones? It's just like a long
Yeah.
empty space with the fence in the middle. So you could train there. You can train just in like an open field somewhere, or there is an above ground dungeon called the Labyrinth or the Passages that's made for practicing dungeon fighting, like in formation and hallways and that kind of stuff. You can do that in cave uneven terrain.
Always going to suggest we train there.
Everybody good with that?
I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're gonna want to go and check out the jousting later, though.
So everyone's together.
We are?
There's going to be a joust today.
Yeah.
You got something in mind?
Because it's the first jousting today. It's like the opening.
As you guys go in, do you want to... This is your first time exploring. There's an upperclassman out there, and he can wave you in and tell you where to go. Do you want to practice in the caves or in the just normal hallway passages?
I think hallways is good.
Okay. So in the hallways, we see you practicing, getting ready to go. And everybody roll.
Yeah, I do.
What are we rolling? D10.
No, D20.
Oh, it's not the 3D.
Roll for the test. For the training check.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're only going to have to do that 3d6 roll one time.
Oh, okay.
That's just-
So what do we got to beat?
You got to beat your DC on the class.
Okay.
But since
Okay.
we're training together,
If
whoever's the
anyone
highest.
beats it,
I beat
you all
everybody's
pass.
DC. We all pass.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's nothing remarkable about the training unless you want to add it. But we just have an unremarkable training montage where you get to know each other a little better. And let's include this bond mechanic thing.
Mm-hmm.
So under bonds, if you don't have the other PCs written down, write their names down.
The people we're training with. I've already got you.
And then also note the player.
You're Sagittarius, right?
Yes.
So I've already got both of you.
What's your name?
I'm Octavius.
Luciana.
The default is it's gonna be a rank, like a 3d6 score.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a start of 9, and every time you guys do anything that could increase your bond, you can roll 3d6 again. That's called a rank check. It's just 3d6 roll unmodified, and if you get above your current rank, you increase it by 1.
Oh, so is this a bonding moment?
It could be.
Okay, so
What's my rank?
since I didn't have a bond with him, I just write down a C automatically.
You write down a 9, which is a C.
I want to
So
roll
we're
with
down
Tim.
9.
I want to roll with Tim because we had breakfast together and we decided to go sparring and these guys joined along.
That's fine. Just make your roll, and the roll determines the fiction.
Okay,
Because otherwise, we would just try to bond all the time. Yeah.
so I can do that.
Okay, so everyone should have all the other PCs that are here, their names and their players' names written down beside that with a 9 somewhere in there. And what I want to do, based on I mean, it's in tons of games like Persona and other games, where as you increase your bonds with other people, that'll equate to a numerical increase. When you go to help them, or when you do like some kind of special friendship attack, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So because we all sparred, since I sparred with these two guys and I already had a established bond with them, should I go ahead and roll and see if
I'm
it's
saying every
changed?
time you hang out with people, either chill or train, you can check to see if your bond increases, which is just a rank check, 3d6. And if you get above what you currently have, increase your bond by 1.
10. So I do this for each person I've trained with right now.
So we're all 9s.
Okay.
And that's a d20?
Well, if you didn't have it, you start off with
Or,
9.
well, let's just say, do it once, and then if you succeed, you can just pick who it was that you increase your bond with.
Okay.
Because otherwise it's going to take forever.
So we're not gonna increase for everybody. Just pick one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm picking.
And then if you do increase, just make up what the moment where your bond increased with them. You see what I'm saying? And if it's, you can collaborate with the person.
So I got to a B with 10 at least.
No, so it's not to a B. It's just you increase the number by 1.
Okay.
So if it's 9, now it's 10, which is still a C.
Okay. So I need to.
Yeah, put down the number, not the rank.
we have ranks down before.
Who's going to be your best friend?
I just realized I can't erase this because it's been scanned so
I'll
many
just
times.
piggyback you.
Yeah, so in the game I was playing, it's like you get a certain number of during your downtime between your like field exams and your like combat exams. You have free days, and on your free days you're doing chores for like the student council, and you get a certain number of bond points. Those bond points, you go and you get to like find your classmates and decide who you want to bond with, and you spend time doing something with them.
Yeah.
And then that increases your link experience, and you level up that whole system. And that means like, well, if you decide to link with them in combat, the higher your level, the more cool stuff you can like do together to like piggyback and get bonuses in combat.
That'd be fun.
And you can you can find books like, oh, so and so would really like this book that I just bought. It increases your link experience by so much.
Oh,
So have you thought about them?
If I increase my link experience with you enough, I can kind of hold you back from resisting John's influence.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I would consider your opinion and value it more highly that way.
Yeah, and that's what. So you'll have a rank, which is like a 3d6 number. So you can use that. You can roll under it or over it. Then it corresponds to a grade, which is descriptive, and then it can also correspond to a bonus that you can use, or a die. So C corresponds to D8. Yeah. So you can use it in all kinds of different ways. So yeah. All right. So did anyone increase their bond with someone?
Yeah, 10. We got up to 10.
You got up to 10 with me.
The other person
Yeah.
has to agree.
Oh, do we have to agree that each other's bonds change?
Well,
I rolled.
oh no.
right, because I rolled and I wouldn't have gotten high enough to increase my default.
But how does
bond with
that
him.
work?
Well, let's see.
Does that matter?
Do we want to do it that way?
Well,
This
those
could-
relationships that can be subjective. So he feels like he grew closer to me. Maybe I don't feel like I grew necessarily
I think
closer to
that's-
him.
Is that fair?
Yeah,
I
that's
think that's
fair.
fair.
I think it's fair.
Because like based on what I rolled,
But do you think that the person should be able to say my bond with you increases as well?
Well, here's the thing. Like,
I think so. But I think the person should be able to. I don't know.
he could avoid bonding with me in the future if my goal is to bond with him, and I have no influence. Like, I have no way to influence him with the bond that I increased.
You ever wanted to like? You probably haven't, Daniel. But have you ever wanted to bond with somebody, but then like something just felt like it wasn't clicking and it was really hard, and maybe eventually it did, but so maybe it could be like that, where it's like, okay, I would like my bond to increase with this person, but maybe there's something that I don't understand that's keeping us from growing in
So
that
here's
relationship.
my initial thought, and you guys can tell me what you think, because this part is a little bit experimental. It's not written down anywhere. That if you roll and your bond, so you just roll a bond check and you say, I want to apply this, and if it's applicable to this relationship, you can say, well, would your character want to do that? And if they say yes, then you can increase it. And if they say no, then you can't.
Okay. Well,
I mean, like I can say yes or no to him increasing his bond
I
with me.
I
And then
like
you
that.
would neutrally increase it.
I like that because
If you said yes.
listen, I
So
like
you
that
have to mutually
because
agree.
what could I use my bond for anyway? Like, if it's just on my side, what
all
benefit
kinds of
does
things.
that?
Helping him, hindering him.
But he doesn't agree to the. If he doesn't agree to the bond, then so I like your idea here where we have to agree on a bond increase. So we ate breakfast together. We decided on going out training. We've combined the two different classes together and trained today. Do you think that we could at least increase from a 9 to a 10? I feel like that makes sense.
See, I have no problem with that. I'm just saying that, like, from my perspective, what the dice said is like, if I wanted to say, I roll the dice and I get to choose based on the rules you set. Like, well, I can't really increase my bond with him because it was already the default of 9 and I rolled 9.
But my roll provided the opportunity.
That's what I'm saying.
So does that mean that, well, I could have used this to increase my bond with John because it was below, so I can also do that? Or
Yeah,
is
you
we
just roll one bond roll, because otherwise you're going to be rolling, like if we had 8 players here, you'd be rolling forever.
So you can.
So I could
you
potentially increase 2 bonds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine, yes.
But John would have to agree to increase his bond with you.
Okay.
So we're going up to 10.
So we'll go and do that. That's fine, that makes sense.
Let's...
Well,
I kind of, on another level, I'm kind of liking the idea that you can just one-sidedly increase your bond with
I
somebody.
like that better.
Yeah, I
Like unrequited love, for instance, or unrequited hatred, where a guy
it's
just
the-
doesn't
Like you
care about
feel like you've grown close to that person,
but the other person was oblivious for
But here's
some
what
reason.
here's where the,
Or
where the
doesn't have to
mechanical
reciprocate.
benefit comes in is if he tries to help you or influence you, it's gonna be good because you're gonna be receptive. But if he goes the other way, it may not be good.
Or if he wants you to do something and you have a high bond with him, you'll have like a penalty to resist him.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. We can use all kinds of ways. Is everybody okay with like this non-mutual thing? As long as you
I'm
write
good with
down the nature of the bond next to it.
Let's vocalize it too. Like,
Okay.
It has to be. So we all have to know what's going on.
Yeah, but so when your bond increases with somebody, then I just want you quick. This is going to take forever. Or you can ask me to do it if you can't think of anything, or just ask the phone a friend. The moment, what it looks like when that bond happens. So we're just rolling mechanically to see if it happens. Then we're retroactively applying fiction.
So, but that's not to say
Like
that.
why you guys had a bond increase.
Okay, so but just to recap here, we're fine with us saying that like, oh, maybe one person can increase and the other person does not, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to disagree to that. Like, are you saying you can only increase your bond, like based on your role, you can only increase your bond by one person during this event at all?
No, I'm saying if he wants to increase his bond with you, like he rolled high enough to increase his bond with maybe you and...
I can agree or disagree.
Yes.
And I can still do my thing with him based on...
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
So you would have two
You
bond
can agree
increases.
or disagree.
Yes.
But if I wanted to do it, I could still agree and make my bond with you higher.
Yeah.
And give you a penalty towards resisting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
But we're agreeing.
Yes, I'm cool with it.
You're agreeing to increase your bond with each other.
Yep.
And what other bonds do we have?
I increased my bond with John.
Okay.
Okay.
I did
And
too.
you're increasing his bond with you?
Yeah, I'll do
Okay.
that. So
I was previously at a negative, at an 8 with him.
So you're going up to a 9.
Feeling a little bit better.
So let's just do this in order.
Well, everybody was 9s, right? Didn't you say everybody?
I said unless you had one, they might have had some reason to...
Yeah,
They
previous
had-
session.
Oh, okay.
They had a tussle.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys... Yeah, your bonds can change based on events.
Okay.
It might go down, up or down a whole rank.
Okay.
Like, if it increases to B, that means you're going to put it up to 13. Regardless of what it was. Because that's the way those things
So you
correlate.
said you wanted to do it in order. Who's going?
Let's just do you guys first. Where do you think your bonding moment happened?
Okay, well, we woke up and met in the Great Hall. I mean, we're just acting responsibly, not chasing after greats. Greats, and we weren't new or anything.
It's true.
So it's
Chasing
like-
after greats.
So we were hanging out.
Stick to the meal halls like you're used to.
I met up with him because the last time I saw him, he was leaving to go do his football analog. What was that?
Phalanx.
Phalanx. So he was going off to do Phalanx. I wanted to watch him, but I was busy. So I wanted to hang out with him at breakfast. We decided that we should probably train together, and then the other guys joined in. And since we're on the same page with that, I feel like our bond increased.
All right, so what's the moment if we were watching this as a TV show where the audience can see that the bond has increased?
We're walking out of the Great Hall together to go train, and people are following after us, so we're like co-leaders.
That's good with me? Good with you?
Sure.
All right.
Daniel later realized that only one bond increase should be allowed and brought into fiction per turn, or else time spent per turn will directly increase with the number of players.
Is it you guys?
I mean, I had from my side, I had one in that we were training.
Wait, no. You and John?
Yes.
Okay.
So you increased your bond with me.
So y'all can collaborate on what you thought.
So I see, previously I was frustrated with his constant, I'm going to go do this thing and investigate
Right.
this stuff, and I'm going to take charge.
It
and I
wasn't
need
even
to know.
really about him. It was just about you.
Yes, I was frustrated because I want to establish dominance as one of my flaws, and I wanted to try to rope him in.
So Sagittarius doesn't really have a problem with him. It was just like he wants to have dominance. So
Yeah.
Oh, it's...
Hey-oh!
You intruded in our hippie story game where we're talking about our feelings.
That's
Hey, shoot, I heard something about he wants dominance.
What's the best?
Well, you heard right. That's about right.
Probably out of context.
Nope.
No.
That's exactly what you think it is.
Exactly.
Shoot.
So okay. So, but we're training, and
But remember, it's all got to distill down to a single moment that could be in a GIF.
Yeah, I wanna hear what you have in mind.
Oh, so in the labyrinth that we're training, are there like simulated enemies?
There's no simulations.
So there's no
training dummies.
This one's real. This one's
But that's it. There's no magic going on.
We're just sparring.
Okay, we're just sparring with each other. Okay, we're training in this labyrinth kind of hallways, close quarters. Me and Luciana are paired up. No. Since we were kind of as leaders, maybe we were opposite of each other.
Right.
And
You're
so
fine,
I got paired with John, aka Pluto, and you got paired with Octavius, and we were sparring against each other. I'm starting to realize he's actually pretty competent in his fighting style. Wait for me.
Okay.
Baby. Wait for me.
He's building up. You gotta know these things because we
And
paired up differently.
I'm going to tell you my feelings, how I feel, my character, how he thinks. And there's a moment where, what do you primarily fight with?
Me, I'm a magic user.
Yeah, but we have to do melee.
Probably dagger.
Probably a dagger. Like maybe she saw an opening and she was like going to come at me. That was going to like just get me in the neck. Obviously not for real, but would make me have to forgive. And he came in and just was like super competent, just blocked that junk.
You just drop in and just smack the lip, whoop-ah, drop down, snap, ah.
Yeah.
And then we won that round or whatever.
Crazy block, because you knew that we were close, that Pluto and Luciana were close, and then he just blocked me, protecting you, and that's pretty...
Yeah, and it was and he was just showing he knows how to when he needs to do what he needs to do, and he's good at it, and he'll fulfill his role to protect.
All right, so you respect his competence.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. And you guys increased your bond, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
From Stacy's side, we've
So
increased our
Stacy's
bond.
character is Octavius, who's a cleric, College of Saints, and then your character, Pluto. College of
Swords.
Spears. It's actually
Spears, sorry.
So fighter. So what's the moment where you guys increase your bond?
Go ahead, could you roll it?
Oh, jeez. Before training, we met at the Great Hall and had a beer, had a glass of mead, and started talking about our past, which was sorted. And I'm
Is it sorted ascending or descending?
How old are you?
How old am I?
At least 13, but can be older.
I'm gonna say 30.
Not that old, because you're an oblet.
Oh,
You were given
I'm
as a
an
child.
oblet. So, what, maybe 18? Let's say 18.
So you would normally start training at 13 unless there was a problem. Some kind of issue that stopped you from entering training at 13.
Money,
Missing a
war...
Intelligence.
Money would not be an issue.
I'm not a smart man, Jenny.
Did you want to be old? Or older? Than
I figured, okay, but this is Academy, so...
So you don't have to specify.
Maybe there was
now.
like a family issue where you felt like you couldn't leave your town for a while.
You could have run away and then come back, possibly.
Well, I'm a rebel.
That's fine. And somehow you managed to escape like the death penalty or something.
So, I think for my...
Or you did something dumb and they were like, hey.
Well, so I just wanted you to know the background. You can say whatever you want now, like how old you are, but I just wanted to get an idea.
You don't have to come up with your reason why you were held back.
You can just think about that later.
Yeah, let me think about that later.
Okay, but you want to be about 30 though?
I do.
Okay, that's fine. And John, are you like a teenager, like 15, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, John reminded me a lot about my youth and some of the issues that I dealt with.
I think I had the perfect moment. Like y'all are drinking together and you say, you know what, you remind me a lot of when I was a kid.
Right.
And that was it. Okay,
That's
there,
it.
Done. We're
And
done.
then I was like, thanks, man. I'll be right back. I gotta go check on this grate. And then I peaced out before we got close to training.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, left your grits warm on the table.
Yes.
Right.
So then I increased mine with Luciana.
Oh, did you as well?
Yes.
Okay, so quick, what's the moment?
Moment is just sometime during our sparring session, we had a minute where it was quiet, and I just updated her on on the grate, and because we discovered the grate last night together.
And I'm very interested in this because the last time I took on the burden of the grate because I wanted to postpone it because it would be it'd be more important to get sleep before the day.
Okay, so we just see y'all like confiding and updating each other. In
I really
whispers.
wanted to check out the grate, but I thought it was better for Pluto to avoid checking it out at that night.
Nick, this is a good thing for me to remember because in general, the way I have this working is for these kind of things where people are doing the same thing at the same time. We roll, and then one person gets to narrate some kind of. We just concentrate the fiction on one event, so it scales with the number of players, because no matter how many players, we're just going to look at one thing. This needs to happen for bond increases, especially when you have low bonds, because everybody's going to increase usually until you get to higher levels.
So after that, I have a 10 for everybody.
Okay.
That's the way it's supposed to be. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're getting to know each other.
Okay.
That's fine. And then you'll have to specify who am I going to train with, who am I going to try to hang out with, because you also get to do that when you chill with them. That
Good
kind
deal.
of thing.
Okay. I think we all want next.
Roll
right?
tide. So that is the end of the first turn. Now it is the church turn. So you can skip it, or you can do deal actions before church.
Yeah. Next.
Or you can just hit next.
So John, you didn't roll anything high enough to make your own bond with someone?
With you?
He did.
With me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can increase yours if you want.
I'm going to church.
I have place. He's the only one that hasn't placed.
Next is church.
Next is church. If you place it on one of these things, you're skipping, or you can do deal in the meet. Okay, everybody has decided to go next and go to church, and we will resume in a bit.